Hey guys, how are you doing today? In today's session, we are going to look at the Postman environment and Postman variables. So let's get started. So on a Postman application, if you see on the top right corner, you will see an environment section. As of now, we don't have any environment. But you may come across multiple kinds of environment when you work on actual project, that is QA environment, dev environment. So whenever any API is under development phase, they will have a development environment where they will store all of that related data in that particular environment only. And when it comes to testing, we'll have a QA environment likewise. So it is very crucial for us to understand how we can create an environment, right? So there are two ways in which we can create an environment, guys. One is from this workspace, you have a new button right here. If you click on this one, it will give you this option to create an environment. If we'll click right here, then it will open up a window and it will ask us to give a name. So we'll give a name as QA. This is one way, and another way is from top right corner, you will see this environment quick look button, I option. So if you click on here, from here also you will get an add option for this environment. So I'll just click on add. This will also open a same window, and let's give this environment as dev environment. So this is what we have done. Now if you just click on this drop down, earlier nothing was coming, but as we have created these two environments, it will show up QA and dev, right? So I can select one of this environment while working. So this is how we will create an environment. Now pay close attention to these two get HTTP requests, right? So first get HTTP request is for getting the list of users, correct? And second get HTTP request is you will just get me one user, correct? This is a single user and list of users. If you pay attention to this URL, some part of URL is same, right? This one until this one, REQ RES API. So variables can be used in such scenarios. So if I have multiple HTTP requests where the base URL is same and this API endpoint is being changed, I can just store this base URL in a variable, and so that I can use this base URL in multiple HTTP requests, so that whenever this base URL gets changed, I just have to change at one place where I have stored the variable, right? If I change the variable, it will be applicable to all of the HTTP requests which I have created. I don't have to go to each HTTP request and modify there. This is for better maintainability, right? So let's create a variable. So we can create a variable at different levels. One will start with the collection. We'll start at the environment level variables first, because we just created an environment right here. So here you can see add new variable option. So we'll just add a base URL variable, okay, and we'll just copy this value which we have just saw. This is a base URL for us. So let me just copy this one. All right, and then I'll just paste it. So it has an initial value and current value. Let me explain this, what it means. So any variable, when we create it, its initial value is this one and current value is this one, means during the execution the current value of this variable might get changed. For example, let me create another variable, iteration, okay, and current value of this variable is, let's say, 0, because we are at the 0th iteration of testing. But once, let's assume there is some kind of loop, then the current value may get changed to 1, 2 or 3, right? So current value may be 3 at later point of time, but initial value will be still 0. Then I can revert back the current value to the 0 at any point of time. That is the difference between initial value and current value. You got it? So let me just delete this variable. So if you just see this view more actions, here we have persist all. By default, only initial value will be shared with your teammates if you are working in a team. So whenever a current value is getting changed, right? So if you want to share this value as well with your teammates, then you have to click persist all, so that when you are running any iteration, both initial value and current value will be shared with your teammates who have access to this QA environment. Okay, so now you can see this type of variable, it is showing as a default. If you select this as a secret, both of this initial and current value will be masked, so that none other than you from your team will be able to see the values of this variable. This is called secret type. But on the Postman server, both of this type will be stored as a string only on Postman server. But the difference only between default and secret is, if you select as a secret, it will be masked so that anyone accessing this environment and this variable will not be able to see the values of it. They will just able to copy it. That's the basic difference. And if you change back to default, it will just ask, do you really want to change to default? And I'll just click on yes, and then it will be reverted back. This is what the different types of variables. Now first we have created an environment variable right now, right? So now let's go back to our this request and let's use this variable. We have created a base URL variable and we'll just use it here. Now what we can do is we'll just delete this, okay, and we can use Postman variable with this curly braces. Okay, as of now it is not showing me any suggestion because no environment has been selected, right? So let me just do one thing. First let me select the QA environment in which I have created a variable. I'll just select this one, and first let me, on QA environment, let me save this and go back to my request. I have selected the environment as QA now. Now if I just do this curly braces, if you see, this base URL is getting auto populated. So if I just click on this one, so this is how we will write a variable, guys. Basically double curly braces, under that we will write that variable name. So if you just hover over this, it is saying that initial value and current value is this one. So by writing this also, I can send this request and I'll get the status 200 okay. If this variable is not defined, it will show unresolved status. So let's just delete this variable, okay, and then if I save this and I go back here, then it will show it in a red because there is an unresolved type. And if I just send this, it will show you the bad request because Postman is not able to resolve this variable, guys. Okay, this is how you will create an environment at variable at environment level. So let me just add this variable again, base URL type, we will give it as this. Control C, we'll just paste it here and we'll just save it. Now it will get resolved. Got it. So this is how we will create a variable at environment level. Now we have all of your variables, you can access it from here, guys. You'll just select this. You are seeing this variable which we have created at QA environment level. If you create a variable, if you want to create a variable at collection level, which is a higher level than environment, what you can do is you can go to your collection. This is our collection, REQ RES collection. Just select here, okay, and we'll go to this collection. Just click on this collection, and if you can see, variable section is available here. So I can just click on this variable selection, and here I can add that URL, create a variable right here. So I'll just create a variable base URL, and I'll just give the value. We need to select the exact value. So let me copy it from here. Control C, and I'll just paste it here. So this variable is available at collection level. Let's delete that environment level variable and we'll try to access the collection level variable. Okay. Now as you can see, this variable, first of all we'll save this so that it will now if you go back, it is saying that it is not able to resolve this variable, right? Because we have deleted from QA and from REQ RES. Here now we will on our collection level, we have created this variable. We'll just click on save. Now this variable has been saved. we'll go back to our request. And we'll copy this. Now if you try with this curly braces, it is giving us the collection level variable, right? So now we can send this request. Now we are able to get this, correct? So this is a collection level variable. If you want to create a global level variable which is at broadest level, what you can do is you can click on this button right here, and we have a globals right here. So from here we can click on add. It will give me an option to create a variable right here as well. So I can create a variable. Now let's create another variable with this particular thing. We'll just copy and we'll paste the value here, and then we'll see that we'll give an API endpoint. Okay, so we have created this variable called API endpoint, and we'll just save this. So this is a global variable. The difference between global variable is like global variable will be accessible across everywhere. You can access it across collection, across different environments, and collection level variable will be common between all of the HTTP requests which are part of this collection, irrespective of the environment. That is the main difference between collection variable, global variable, and environment variables. Okay, so we'll go back to this request. Okay, and then we will replace this with our API endpoint. As you can see, I'm getting this API endpoint because this is a global variable, so which we just created, and if we send this, we'll still be able to get this, correct? So this is about variables and environment, guys. Thanks for joining in.